Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, so we're gonna just get into this here topic. This is some of the, if you watch my channel a lot, I go into a lot of the war and things like that with these different nations and so on and so forth, and as of lately dealing with this Iranian situation, you haven't really heard me speak on this situation as much, just like the impeachment situation with Donald Trump, because you have to understand that a lot of these things are so-called smoke and mirrors or distractions or things built into other things, like the Trump impeachment situation, more or less, the important thing about that is you see in this here nation be divided, the Egyptian against Egyptian. That situation there is dividing, these Babylonians here, basically, these Americans, more or less to say, these Edomites, all right? But nevertheless, and that's the most important thing about that whole situation, and also with this Iran thing, there's a tit for tat going back and forth. Now, eventually, America and Iran, they definitely gonna go at it, but nevertheless, over the last, really, I want to say the last week or so, you've been seeing more tit for tat with it, but nevertheless, these are all things that's bubbling up or whatever, whatnot, but one important thing to remember, all right, and one of the reasons that I didn't just jump onto this when it was coming out, and so on and so forth, it's like, we not like those, those people on YouTube or whatever, whatnot, that every time something happens, they, people will tell you like, oh, they're fear mongering or whatever, whatnot. You have these certain, YouTube channels or whatever, whatnot, that'll just, every time something happens, it's, oh, it's this, it's that, martial law is going to be here today, tomorrow, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I remember back when Barack Obama was in office, some of these channels was like, they're going to impeach him tomorrow, he's going to jail, they got the arrest warrant and so on and so forth, and it gets people, kind of riled up about certain things or whatever, whatnot. And if you constantly watch these channels, you'll be like, man, this is nothing but an up and down, and a lot of these things you saying it ain't really coming true, The thing that separates us from those people is the fact that we going into prophecies according to the scriptures. All right. So, like, let me grab it real quick. This second Ezra 9:1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I told thee before, all right, which we're about to read some of these signs. All right. So, the key point here was measuring the time diligently. All right. And watch these here signs, watch these certain things, all right? Verse 2, it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time whereas the highest will begin to visit the earth which he made, all right? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, like we just seen in Puerto Rico, I believe actually 2 of them in Puerto Rico in the last week, uproars of the people in the world, which you see this going on globally, the global uprisings, all right? Verse 4, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, all right? And so, basically, going into these things, one of the main important thing was to measure the times diligently and looking at these here signs, the prophecies. All right, this is like the scripture also said, occupy yourself in prophecy. The spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So there's a difference and a divide between the men of the Lord that's prophesying, on the highways and the byways and on these videos. And then also you have, again, like on YouTube, you have these other channels or whatever, whatnot, not people in the truth or anything like that, but just these other channels per se, that are, every time something, for instance, AMTV with Christopher Green, I remember coming across him. Matter of fact, I believe when he first started his channel, when he had the long hair and shit, you know what I'm saying? And homeboy if you listen to him, you would have thought that the world was going to end tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That was a couple years ago, But nevertheless, these people have agendas behind, a lot of their things, like Christopher Green, stockpile gold and cryptocurrency and so on and so forth. And they telling you that this economy is going to crash and everything going to crash. Like, well, what's the point of getting all this shit, electronic shit and storing up shit if they finna come and take your shit, so on and so forth, You have to understand they trying to sell you something, and they're using the fear situation to get that, But the thing is, what we bring out is the prophecies, all right? We showing you how to be able to measure these times, all right? Showing you that the day of the Lord is nearer than what we believe, all right? We're showing you that, look, man, hey, the Lord's return is right around the corner. These are the signs he laid down. When you starting to see these things start to happen, it's just like a pot you put on the stove. Once you start seeing, a pot of water on the stove, once you start seeing small bubbles and stuff like that, that pot's about to start boiling, all right? And this is the stage that we in right now. So we can measure the times diligently, and we can tell you that, hey, man, the end is pretty much right at hand, you know. But nevertheless, you know, that was, you know, one thing I wanted to kind of get out of the way for, you know, is the situation with these things, you know. And you know, as far as not jumping on the Iran situation and so on and so forth, hey, you have to actually sit back and watch these things or whatever, whatnot, because you have to understand about propaganda and certain things like this and so on and so forth, like dealing with this Iran situation, right? With them doing their bombing raids last night, you know, and which again, you know, we're gonna touch on that a little bit, but nevertheless, hey man, you know, people get all up in the uproar. Oh shit, they didn't bomb well, they didn't bomb America, but they bombed basically American property over in Iraq, you know, as if it was all they didn't know that this was happening. But when you go into this, the American military knew that there was an attack coming. All right, they removed everybody that was over there. Nobody wound up dying. You know what I'm saying? They knew about the attack coming beforehand. So the only people that was pretty much caught off guard and the people that was surprised about this was your everyday regular people, you know? But nevertheless, you just jump onto the situation or whatever, whatnot, you know, and you don't want to get into those things, all right? We're not jumping on bandwagons or whatever, whatnot. We sticking to the scriptures, all right? And then we're filtering the news and things like that through these prophecies, all right? So you have to understand the prophecies and so on and so forth to be able to measure the times diligently into this situation, all right? Just wanted to open up with that or whatever, whatnot. You know, this is not we jumping on the bandwagon of speaking on Iran or whatever, whatnot. Well, the main important part is, you know, watch and understand these things, do a little investigation on these things, whatever, whatnot, before you just jump to conclusions or whatever, whatnot, you know? For instance, if you out there trying to so-called call yourself a prophet, all right, and you see this thing going on with Iran, and you know pretty much Iran is like, you know, according to the American government, that's the last place they plan on pretty much invading before they pretty much try to go at Russia, you know. But nevertheless, you see these things start boiling over, and you think World War III is about to start launching tomorrow, you know. But again, you know, you have to look at the prophecies, all right? The real men of the Lord know the prophecies and how things, you know, the order of these prophecies, all right? There's going to, you know, you're not going to have World War III, Armageddon, which at the end of World War III is going to be ended with what? Thermonuclear missiles, right? However, if you know, World War III is to start over this Iranian thing right here, right now, which we already at World War III, but a hot war is what I'm saying, like, you know, country versus country, so on and so forth, you know? If that was the case, you know what I'm saying, what happened to the RFID chip, or what happened to the mark of the beast being implemented? All right, we know that the mark of the beast is going to be implemented before you, let me grab it real quick. This is Revelation 14:9. All right, it says, this is, let me go up a little bit. This is Revelation 14:9. The third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark on his forehead, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angel and in the presence of the Lamb. And their smoke and their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. All right, so basically going into that, you know, you compare this with Revelation 18, you know, dealing with, let me get to the point, let me read verse 10, Revelation 18:8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh power who judges her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornications and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour her judgment is come. All right, let me jump down a little bit. Let me just read verse 18. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? So when you understand and you properly go into these scriptures, you'll understand, like what we just read in Revelation 14, which is the judgment for taking the RFID chip, all right, which is the mark of the beast. All right, if you take that RFID, or the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, your judgment is you're going to be burned with fire, basically going into the thermonuclear missiles in the middle of the judgment, right? Right here, what we're reading in Revelation 18 is Babylon, which is America, being destroyed. We can go further into this by thermonuclear missiles by these other nations, all right? And, you know, matter of fact, let me go back to Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So this is talking about, you know what I'm saying? When you go into this is NATO and the EU, all right, America's allies turning on America and also shooting missiles onto America. All right, all these nations that got missiles, they're gonna shoot their missiles over here on America, man. All right, so if you understand that America gonna be completely burned with fire, it's gonna be completely destroyed from one side to the other side, from one coast to the other coast, turn this bitch into the lake of fire. All right, the same judgment of America is the same judgment that those that take the mark of the beast is gonna receive. All right, so how is it that World War III, all right, which is going to be the start of the coming of these thermonuclear missiles, you know, to say, you know, because the war has to start before the missiles come down, all right? And then also, how the fuck you going to get the RFID chip in the middle of World War III when the missiles is coming down? You see what I'm saying? So you have to order these scriptures, put them in their proper order and whatever, whatnot, you know, and measure the times diligently, all right? So we know, looking at Iran and their attacks or whatever, whatnot, like, oh, hey, they about to go to World War III tomorrow. Trump about to address the nation, and hey, they about to send them troops over to the war. No, that's not. We don't want to be pushing these things and promoting those things, man. All right, we gonna you know, divide these times according to the prophecies, man, according to the scriptures. All right. Now, saying all that to say this, you know, there is something going on with that whole Iran thing, but it's, you know, it's not nothing to. I mean, it is something to rejoice over, but nevertheless, you know. Man, there's been a lot of shit that's been going on. You know, the what is it? The oh fuck, what's that website called? One of these websites, basically, what is it? The selective draft services. Basically, the people that, you know, that will send out for you to be drafted, right? They damn website crashed. I think when it was when Soleimani got assassinated. You know, I think it was that day, or it might have been the day after. You know, but nevertheless, you know, these everyday people that aren't covered with this here hedge, this here knowledge, are they running around with their heads cut off? They was calling us crazy. Oh, we ain't going to World War III. Ain't gonna be this and that, whatever, whatnot. America's so great. But then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? When this shit popped off, all these regular, everyday ass people, you see the panic on them. They all, oh shit, am I gonna get drafted? Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? We've been telling y'all the whole goddamn time. They finna start drafting all you motherfuckers and send you over there. You're not gonna come back, man. You know what I'm saying? They drafted men, women, homosexuals, all of them. They going all over there and getting put to death, man. All right, then none of them gonna come back, man. But nevertheless, you know, this is the panic of these people because why? They don't have this here wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The scriptures say, "Blessed are the eyes which see these things that you see, all right, and hear the things that you hear." All right, and also the scriptures say, with all thy getting, get understanding. All right, blessed is he that readeth. All right, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. We're not running around with our heads cut off or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily, you know, the Iran situation happen and all of a sudden you want to run to YouTube. Oh shit, this is it. This is it. Nah, bro. Nah, with all that getting, get understanding. All right, understand what's going on with these prophecies first and foremost, and then you know, watch and measure the times diligently with them. All right, but nevertheless. Nevertheless, dealing with this here situation, you know, like I said, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. You know, you have a lot of these people freaking out. You see a lot of these everyday Edomites that were so proud not too long ago. Now, all of a sudden, this shit popping off, and you see what's going on, man. All right, you see all these things. Hey, like I said, it's a time for us to rejoice because we know salvation is getting closer. You know, and all in all this is doing is bringing us into the next phase, man. You know, this is the new year, the new decade, 2020. You know, Apostle Hardin this year, the year of prophecy. All right, you starting to see these prophecies actually start taking place. We ain't even, today's the 8th or some shit like that, man. We only like 7, 8, 9 days into the damn year, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you seen these things pop off already, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, America, you know, America's been poking at Iran for the longest time with little small things, sanctions and the nuclear agreement and so on and so forth. But now you having bigger steps being taken. You know, first and foremost, they done went over there and assassinated this the number 2 general, or well, the number 2 person in Iran, not the because you got like the Ayatollah, right? Khomeini. Then you have like the damn leader over there, like I don't know if they had a president or not, but whatever you call their leader, the equivalent to the president. But nevertheless, you had this Iranian general, all right, who was actually over top of him. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know, he in reality, so this is all some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, homeboy was going over into Baghdad in Iraq, all right, to basically go and deal with a peace treaty. All right, they was basically calling it a peace treaty. All right, and another thing, what people don't really understand is, you know, this misconception about Iran. Oh, Iran is some small, dusty ass. Iran is not small. Iran is pretty damn big. All right, Iran is in a great position over there in the Middle East on with the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, man. This is where all these resources come in and out over there, man. All right, there's a lot of money that flows through there. So Iran ain't, ain't no little bitty bullshit place, man. Plus, Iran has a huge influence over there in the Middle East. All right, with a lot of these different nations over there. All right, and the majority of America's bases that's outside of American territory is in the Middle East. All right, so you would think America's all big and bad, but hey, man, Iran is actually, biblically, those are the Persians, man. And the Persians, they ain't really ever took no damn losses. They lost to damn basically the Grecians or whatever, whatnot. But and you see the same shit going on right now today. These Edomites coming back and poking at them again. All right, but this is why America chose them to go at last, because they like the hardest nation to go over there and conquer, man, out of those Middle Eastern countries, man. All right, but nevertheless, dealing with this whole Soleimani assassination, like I said, he was actually going over there to broker a peace deal. And another thing with Iran, Iran was helping us. Look, this is a kind of a fucked up statement. Iran was kind of helping America kill off ISIS, which again is a fucked up statement because ISIS ain't even real. This is America's proxy that they go over there just to, allow them to go over there and bomb up whatever country that they want. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? America's really being, they walking on eggshells around Iran, all right? But nevertheless, dealing with the, how do I say this? The backlash, and America was like, oh, well, because they're trying to overthrow their government with this propaganda and shit like that. They had the gas hike over there where it went from I think 3 cents to 8 cents or some shit like that, or 8 cents to 16 cents or some shit like that. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Which don't sound like much to us. We're like, it's still less than $1. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, shit, that's shit less than a quarter worth of gas. But over there, you know what I'm saying? This is a country that produces oil. You know what I'm saying? So you just imagine here, if gas is $2, $3 now, then all of a sudden next time you turn around it's $9, $10, bro. You be pissed the fuck off. So this is something that America went over there and started doing. All right. And then at the end all be all, tried to make an uprising for the people, which the people did go over there and protest or whatever, whatnot. But all in all, when they wound up killing this Soleimani guy, all right, it pretty much united all these goddamn Iranians over there, man. And there's a divide with the different, what they say, because, America has that divide and conquer situation. So you got the Sunni and the Shiite Muslims, all right? So they're not really all the same, all right? But nevertheless, you wind up uniting all these people over there, all right, by killing this one dude. They're like, because it's like, yo, we all fighting each other. But hold on, it's like siblings fighting, your brother and your sister, or two brothers is fighting over here, whatever, whatnot. But then somebody else come over there, you know what I'm saying, is you and your brother fighting or whatever, whatnot. Y'all get into a fight, man. Oh, bro, you ate my whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And y'all over here about to knock each other out. But then somebody come over there and call your mama a bitch. The two brothers stop fighting each other and go fight your ass, man. They bond together like, man, we finna go kick this motherfucker's ass right quick, talking about our mama like that. That's the same thing that's going on over there with these Iranians, man. So they're more unified than anything, which is, according to the scriptures, hey, man, you got Esau falling into his own trap, his own snare, man. All right, but nevertheless, all these different things, man, is bringing us closer to that World War III, man. All right, to the downfall of Esau Edom, man, because you seeing everything around him crumbling, not only his own society, his own economics, his own military, because he's being outpaced by Russia. All right, you seeing their global influence declining. You seeing all these different things happen, all right, to where America is slowly but surely crumbling, man. All right, and then also, because Donald Trump, man, this motherfucker was on some bullshit today, man. All right, with this presidential address. But nevertheless, they talking about old boy Soleimani was leading. They armed and trained these people to go over there and basically raid the damn embassy in the American embassy in Iraq. I was like, wait a minute, those was Iraqis that did that shit. Soleimani and his people, they Iranians. First of all, these two different people. Like one of them, the Iraqis and all of them, those are Ishmaelites. All right, they from Ishmael. They the Arabs. All right, Soleimani and the Iranians, those are Persians. All right, these are Elamites. They're not even the same people, man. All right, that's like, what I'm saying? That's like saying the so-called Negroes and the so-called Africans. They might look the same, somewhat the same skin color, whatever, whatnot, but they're completely different people, man. All right. But nevertheless, they all in all the same thing. We're going to grab the scriptures on that too, how they're going to wind up joining each other up to fight in this here war, man. All right. But nevertheless, all this here war and propaganda that they pushing out, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man. And you also see that they not really about, America really ain't about that life. They just all this talking, whatever, whatnot, Barack Obama, the last gangster president in that sense would have been George Bush. You know what I'm saying? Because he just go over there and start bombing the shit out of people, right? But Barack Obama was like, oh, we got a red line in Syria. If they cross the line, we're going to go blah, 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 blah. They crossed them. Apparently, they crossed the line, but it was, some setup from America. All right, America didn't wind up doing shit. They were like, all right, well, we're gonna just push the line further back. You know, now you have this situation with Donald Trump talking about some tit for tat. Oh, if they do this, if they respond back, we're gonna respond with this, and that. We're gonna respond with that, and so on and so forth. And then come to find out, you know, today in his little speech, it was like, well, you know, they try to downplay the attack. No Americans was harmed. Nobody wound up dying. They didn't really do that much damage to anything. We didn't really lose out on nothing. You know, it's so on and so forth. You know, just like with the drone, the down under this here drone. You know, which, hey, right beside that damn drone that Iran wound up downing, there was a plane with like 80 people on board, you know, American spy plane with like 80 people on board they could have shot down. That was the point. They was trying to contact this damn airplane, telling it to get out of their airspace, all right? But then nevertheless, they was acting like they ain't hear it, they ain't ignore it. It's like, all right, fuck that. We're going to shoot down that drone that's on the side of your wing real quick, letting you know we could touch that ass, man. You see what I'm saying? So what did Donald Trump say about that? Oh, it was an unmanned drone. We was going to kill about 150 people, but we don't need to kill nobody over the fact that they just shot down an unmanned drone. Nobody died. You know what I'm saying? So they backed off on that. Now, in this situation, they assassinated this dude. All right, then all of a sudden, you know, you got this tit for tat going back and forth. Well, they had the Iraq and them wind up raiding this embassy. All right, first of all, there was like a contractor killed over there. All right, then you had, you know, the going back and forth or whatnot, the embassy situation and shit like that. Then all of a sudden, America wants to retaliate by killing Soleimani. All right, the general over there in Iran. Right, that was their retaliation strike. All right, so then Iran was like, fuck that. We're going to bomb y'all ass, right? So they wound up doing this bombing run. And when that shit was crazy last night, boy, that shit was real live, boy. Just, you know, in the spirit, because like right after that shit, they bombed again. You know what I'm saying? They wound up doing they bombed over there twice, man. And you know what I'm saying? And they was like, we don't give a fuck about America, and we don't give a fuck about Israel, and we don't give a fuck about none of America's allies, bro. All y'all the same to us. You know what I'm saying? If our missiles can't reach America, we'll bomb Israel. In which Iran has a space program, not very much a good space program, but if you have a space program, you basically got ICBMs, you know, the delivery system for nuclear missiles, man. All right, because it's the same exact thing, man. Those rockets that take the space shuttles into space, it's the same thing as what carries the ICBM missiles, man. All right, when you go back to Wernher von Braun under Adolf Hitler and shit, this was the nigga who created the first rockets and shit, man. All right, you can go back to Germany in World War II. They had the V1 rocket, the V2 rocket, all right? Basically in what they call a blitzkrieg, where Germany was bombing the shit out of Europe, man. Just 24 hours a day, it was just like shooting them with rockets and shit, man. All right, and they was the first people with rocket or jet-powered planes. You know, they had the first jets. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, Project Paperclip, America and Russia wound up taking the scientists. They split the scientists from Germany. All right, and then they brought them over here, and then you had what they had called the space race. It wasn't about them getting into outer space and we can get to the moon. No, they was trying to develop ICBM thermonuclear missiles. Well, not really the nuclear bomb part, because they actually had the nuclear bombs in World War II. All right, America had like fucking rocket launchers that were shooting these damn bombs. It wasn't the fact that, they just developed the shit for Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They actually had the shit before that. You know what I'm saying? But if they was to shoot these bitches off, not only would they kill the person who was launching this motherfucker, but, you know what I'm saying, the troops that was around them. So it was pretty much a useless weapon, all right? But once they got the scientists from Germany, Project Paperclip, which you can look all this shit up, you know, it's not hidden or nothing. It's actually all public documents. Wernher von Braun, this is where you get NASA from, all right? That's what NASA was. It was nothing but these German scientists creating the ICBM missiles, the thermonuclear missiles and shit. All right, or the delivery system, because when you look at that big ass rocket, that's the vehicle that's going to take it. You know, if you look at how these missiles go up into the space and they disassemble or whatnot, you know, the stages that they go through, you'll realize that the damaging part is in what they call the warhead, just the tip of it. The rest of it is just the damn vehicle to get it up there, right? The same shit that take you into outer space with your space shuttles and your satellites and whatnot. So if a country can put a satellite into outer space, because this is how these thermonuclear missiles, the ICBMs work. They shoot the rocket into outer space, all right, because it's too far to fucking hit. Like, it's too far, really not that far for Russia to hit America, like on the West Coast, but really hard for Russia to hit America, how do I say, pretty much all of America, you know what I'm saying, without, you know, America seeing this shit or whatnot, and all these different things, you know. So what they do is, and they don't really have enough gas to get the bitch all the way across. So what they do is they shoot it into outer space, all right, the vehicle will separate itself. All right, then the warheads, I forgot what they call it, a MIRV or something re-entry vehicle. All right, I think it's like an MRV. But nevertheless, this is like basically the warhead, you know. Inside this here, the thing that's holding the warheads, all right, it'll start coming back in to the atmosphere or whatever, whatnot. Once it pierces through, it'll separate and you get these multiple warheads, all right? Then from there, it's just like you trying to drop, you pick up some beach sand in your hand and you drop it from a high height. That sand is going to all spread out. The higher you are, the further it's going to spread out. You know what I'm saying? This is why they use this here method to be able to deliver thermonuclear missiles, the warheads, But saying all that to say this, any nation that can put a satellite in the outer space, all right, they have the thermonuclear missile capability. You know what I'm saying? Like, all they need is the bomb to put on the tip of it, But nevertheless, and really, they don't even really need a bomb because they got what they call kinetic weapons, which they'll call like that one of these movies, G.I. Joe, King Cobra, or some shit like that. They tell you about it, the hand of God. They can shoot a tungsten rod, pretty much like a big ass metal telephone pole from outer space, and that's pretty much like nuking the bitch without the radiation fallout. It's gonna do major damage. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, saying all that to say this, any nation with can launch a satellite in outer space, they can rain nuclear missiles down on your ass. So all this talk about Iran and a nuclear program and shit, this is all bullshit. These niggas can buy the shit from Russia, all right? Second of all, they can shoot nukes over here on America, all right? But it's not necessarily perfected because they don't really have a really good space program, all right? But nevertheless, they can launch into outer space, all right? Just like North Korea. Motherfuckers is stupid. Oh, Kim Jong-un gonna get nuclear bombs. He gonna bomb America. This nigga already been had this shit, man. He could have been bombed America. Matter of fact, I believe it's twice a day that North Korean satellites fly over the continental U.S. I believe it's called like the North Star, the Morning Star, some shit. Look it up, man. North Korean satellites. You know what I'm saying? And look at how they orbit around America every fucking day. Just like all these other countries with these satellites up there, right? So if they can launch these satellites in outer space, best believe they can put a goddamn missile on the top or nuclear warheads on the top and rain them down on you. All right, so all this talk about the nuclear weapons or whatever, whatnot, their nuclear program. This is the same shit that Saddam Hussein had, weapons of mass destruction. All right, this is the propaganda to get the people up in arms and on their side as far as trying to take down this here, sovereign nation. All right, so saying all that to say this, a lot of the things aren't as they seem. All right, as far as the hype that they put behind a lot of these things. All right. Again, the most important thing is to measure the times diligently, and how you're going to do it by these prophecies and the signs, all right? And having this here understanding about these things, all right? So we're going to jump out into the scriptures in the book of Matthew 24 and 3. It says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came up to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. All right, like I was saying about a lot of these YouTubers that, what I'm saying, if you, halfway watching, you watching the truth a little bit, and you know that the end is coming, but then you put a little bit more of your trust into these other YouTube channels or whatever, whatnot, that's bringing out this alternative media or whatever, whatnot, and you just, again, some of these people like Christopher Green and them, they got a secondary agenda. Homeboy is getting rich over there off of you people, man. Not really saying you people that's listening, but from his following, man. Like I said, I remember when that channel first came the fuck out. Now this dude is doing videos in Maseratis, got a big ass studio, and so on and so forth. Because why he's selling people these basically doomsday food kits and shit like that, and gold and so on and so forth. He's selling people items based off of fear. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to sell them gold coins. You gotta have physical gold. Like, nigga, if they got martial law going on and everything is shut down and everything, like, where the fuck are you gonna spend the gold at? How are you gonna spend the gold? They done came and raided your fucking house and put you in the FEMA camp. He telling you they gonna do that shit to you, but at the same time, you need to get some gold. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, but so if you're watching like that, you be like up in a frenzy right now, So let me read this again, Matthew 24 and 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. All right. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. All right, and we also have this as well too with the false prophets out there on the YouTube, man. All right, falsely prophesying certain things or whatever, whatnot, and then also in a carnal sense, this propaganda from the media and these other YouTube channels. All right, verse 6, and you shall hear of wars. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. Okay, that's the most important thing. You're going to hear about these wars and the rumors of wars, but don't be troubled. All right, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, so again, the important part is measuring the time diligently and looking at these here signs. You're going to hear about the wars and the rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. All right, you still got a lot of things that's going to have to take place. All right, so you see in America actually starting to change their focus. Which if you look at the bigger picture, you noticed how at first America was over there with Iraq. Their main focus was on Iraq. Then they shifted to like Afghanistan. Then they slightly shifted to Pakistan. Then they shifted to Libya. Then from Libya, they went over to a couple other places like Somalia and over there with the Lebanon situation and all that. And then they went over basically into Syria. All right. And then from Syria, now notice in all these situations, like right now, Donald Trump said today, oh, we eliminated all of ISIS. There's no more ISIS. Like, nigga, come on, bro. Like, just a little while ago, y'all still over here trying to fight terrorists and ISIS or whatever, whatnot. But really, the time now is for them to change the boogeyman. They need you to keep thinking there's a boogeyman so that you'll run to them to protect them, which you'll keep okaying them spending billions and trillions of dollars on this military shit so they can go over here and conquer these other nations and steal their resources, all right? Just in your mind to keep you safe from the boogeyman, all right? But nevertheless, as you see, once Russia put that S-300 over there in Syria, it was a no-fly zone. America had to get the fuck up out of there. Russia was over there like, nah, we'll take care of ISIS. We'll bomb the shit out of their ass. Which America was like, nah, bro, y'all fucking us up over here, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and they was exposed for, creating ISIS anyway. But nevertheless, the focus has switched from Syria. All right, then it went over to Venezuela. It's Juan Guaido and America still trying to get old boy in the office. All right, you know what I'm saying? But that ain't really happening. Then you have, these other Latin American countries, like Bolivia, Colombia, Brazil, all these other places, you know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, as a side note, look up the School of the Americas, all right? This is the school. It's not called the School of Americas no more. It's called, I want to say WISAC or something like that. But it's exactly the same thing with the same principles and everything like that. What they do is they train up assassins, all right, for these Latin American countries to overthrow their governments, all right? Basically, Juan Guaido, 9 times out of 10, he came from there. You know what I'm saying? You could just look up the School of the Americas and look up the history and some of the people who became nation leaders and shit like that. You'll understand how America props up these puppet governments over there with these people just to do their dirty work, man. All right, but nevertheless, you see this here, the focus switch from Syria, all right, to now they're going to go over to Venezuela. All right, but then you see Russia over there putting their foot down over there a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, America's now switching, and they realizing, they keep getting busted with the coup attempt. All right, so now they trying to, switch their focus to something else. They killed al-Baghdadi or whatever, whatnot, But then at the end all be all, also another thing, you got this impeachment situation going on, and how do you change the focus of that? You know what I'm saying? And getting people's minds off of trying to impeach Donald Trump. Oh, you got some kind of false flag or a terrorist attack or the threat of some kind of war, something way bigger than the impeachment situation, so people will focus in on that. Get their minds off of this here situation, man. All right, but nevertheless, you have all these things, like I said, popping off, and America's changing their focus, again, from Syria, Venezuela, from now Venezuela, or let me put it to you this way, from fighting these terrorists, you know what I'm saying, from 2001 till now, basically, we've been so-called fighting terrorist groups, whether it be Al-Qaeda or ISIS, you know what I'm saying, or under these different names or whatever, whatnot, So now, and, the whole time, America wasn't really at war with none of those countries, like, directly, like, oh, no, it's not country versus country, we just fighting terrorists, it's not a actual war, we just fighting these terrorists. But now you see in America is looking at these other countries now directly head up, Iran was with North Korea, but like I said, got a lot of these distractions. But nevertheless, you got Iran, which we know that's going to be according to prophecy. All right, and also Russia is the ultimate move, But nevertheless, you seeing this here thing being shifted. All right, this is the new gear that we getting into. All right. Continuing on, let me read verse 6 again. It says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. These things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, all right, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. For instance, you have America versus Iran. You see what I'm saying? Because those are the we call them the Persians, versus what these Edomites over here, you got two different nations fighting with one another, and you also got Jacob and Esau here in America battling it out, Then it also says in kingdom against kingdom, Russia and America, these are both Edomites. You see what I'm saying? And there should be famines and pestilence. You got a lot of these crops that's dying off. You had a lot of shit that recently, red basket of America, you had blizzards, you had floods, fires, all kind of shit that popped off and killed off a lot of these crops, And also with the trade and things like that, It says, and then also with the, gas, before I say gas prices, with the attacks that happened last night, the stock market, well, first of all, gas prices wound up going up slightly, all right, not really a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? The stock market wound up losing it started going down more or less to say, you know what I'm saying? But not really like, at the point in time when they was having these strikes, you know what I'm saying? Or yesterday around the times that, knowing that these strikes was coming, it was all under 1%, it was like 0.3% or some shit like that, 0.2%. But nevertheless, you've seen these things reflect these things, which is in turn is raising the cost of gas. Gas is driving these trucks, which is bringing in everything. All right, so you can start to see a famine with that as well too. And pestilence. All right, you got a lot of these super diseases, super bugs, and things going on. You know what I'm saying? The rise of this social media and all these people on these social media sites having sex, just rampant ass sex, and man, goddamn, they got a whole lot of shit popping off right now, man. All right, and earthquakes in diverse places. Puerto Rico just got hit with 2 different earthquakes over within the last 7 days or so. They just got kind of I believe this morning they woke up to that situation in Puerto Rico, and I believe it was maybe 2 days ago or something like that, a couple days ago, where it was another earthquake over in Puerto Rico. All right, verse 8 says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so these things are all the beginning of sorrows. This is just the beginning. All right, verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. I wanted to read that. Let me read let me just stop there. All right, so dealing with the affliction, you see with these false flag attacks with what is it, New Jersey and New York, about the the so-called black people attacking these so-called Jewish people, whatever, whatnot, having those signs up, calling them anti-Semitic, saying that Yahushua is coming being anti-Semitic. This is the persecution starting to be boiled up or whatever, whatnot, before they come down on the minute of the Lord, So again, measuring the time diligently, the persecution got to come before World War III take place, man. All right. So nevertheless, again, the most important thing about all these things is measuring the time diligently. All right. So from there, we're gonna go to. I didn't really have any scriptures lined up. I just was thinking off the top of the head here. Let me go from there to. I'm trying to put some scriptures together real quick. We'll go from there. Let me go to Isaiah 14 real fast. You also see this here taking place. I could read all of this, but for time's sake, I'm going to just get to this here point in verse 10. Isaiah 14:10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And when you read this, damn near all of Isaiah 14 is talking about the fall of Babylon the Great, which is America. All right. So when you read through this, it's basically Esau falling out of power. America's starting to crumble and whatever, whatnot. So it says, let me read verse 4. It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? All right. And now we starting to see the beginning of all these things right now, man. This golden city starting to cease, man, whether it be economically. All right. You starting to see, these Americans who used to be living in the golden city on roads paved with gold and so on and so forth. Everybody all rich and living the best life and high life or whatever, whatnot. Now, all of a sudden, people living paycheck to paycheck can't afford shit over here, man. All right. You also have internationally, when it comes to economics, man, they trying to dump the petrodollar, which keeps this American money higher value than everything else, So now that's starting to fall, man. All right, this infrastructure in America has been old and falling apart and everything like that, man. All right, the American military is all out of dated or whatever, whatnot. Donald Trump said he rebuilt it or whatever, whatnot. They ain't rebuilt shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they talking about they developing hypersonic weapons. They're not going to be, bro, that's not going to work out for y'all. You see what I'm saying? Russia's got the upper hand with the military equipment right about now, man. You can't even get your damn F-35 plane squared away right. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, all these things are starting to fall apart here in the hands of America, man. The golden city is starting to cease, man. You're starting to see everything crumble over here, man. All right. Verse 5, Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the ruler, who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. And that's what you're starting to see happen right now, especially dealing with the beast starting to hate the whore. America and let's just say the Joppa agreement or the Iranian nuclear deal, right? When America pulled out of the Iranian nuclear deal, all right, a lot of America's allies was kind of pissed about that. The EU and NATO, they was pretty much pissed about that. America was like, well, fuck it. Don't nobody better be dealing with Iran or whatever, whatnot. And if you do, we're going to sanction your ass, even our own allies. Now, the allies of America all right, didn't really like all that. You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they kind of a little bit standoffish. You know, at the last, what was it? The last, what was that? What's that meeting called? I don't think it was a G20. But nevertheless, at one of these big meetings with all the heads of state, you know what I'm saying? Basically, you know, all of America's allies in NATO and the EU basically was all laughing, scoffing, and mocking at Donald Trump. You know, hurt his feelings. Homeboy wound up going home a day early and whatever, whatnot. You know, so as you can already see that, you know, America's allies are starting to distance themselves from America, man. They're like, nah, bro, you out there on your own with this situation, man. You know, and a lot of these other things like the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that they trying to run, well, Russia them trying to run, you know what I'm saying, which is going to provide gas to Europe. You know, America's pissed about that. You know, they don't want Russia to be getting no money off of that. They want to be the ones getting all the money. So they're like, look, if y'all buy this here gas from them and get this here pipeline, it's over for y'all, you know, talking to their own allies. But the allies are like, look, we get cleaner, better quality oil at a cheaper price than trying to get the shit from y'all. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know, America's still bugging out. So as you can see, it says, he that ruled the nation in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So, hey, look, man, nobody trying to hold this up and nobody trying to stop these people from kicking in your shit, man. They're like, well, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is that scene in Friday where Debo get knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to stop Craig from knocking Debo out. Ain't nobody trying to stop nobody from running through Debo pockets while he down. All right, because he was smoking the people with a continuous wrath the whole time, man. Stealing red, biking, all kind of shit like that. Man, my mama gave me this bike or whatever, whatnot. So ain't nobody give a fuck about this situation right now, man. They don't care about coming to America's aid, man. All right. Verse 8, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellows come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up their thrones of all the kings of the nations. All right. Hey, man, so wherever America go, man, death and hell follow, man. And it also say, it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, you know, going into what? Regime change. That's one of the main things America is in for, is regime change, man. They trying to set up their puppets. Hey, man, they trying to literally rule every single country, bro, and steal all the resources, man. Come on, bro. This is a goddamn bastard, man. Well, really, nah, he ain't no bastard. I mean, he is, but, you know, it was prophesied that he would have dominion over the earth. You know what I'm saying? He trying to fulfill it all, you know? Verse 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All right. So now going into this, you see this tit for tat with Iran. All right. Every time Trump got on the TV, it was talking shit to Iran with the drone situation or whatever, whatnot, man. Iran has really been sticking their chests out, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times when shit happens to America, people be scared to take responsibility for that, you know? But Iran was like, you know, dealing with that drone that they shot down. Shit, bro. After they shot the bitch down, they went and retrieved the drone. They was over there stunning with the shit like they was on Instagram. Everybody taking selfies with the drone. Did a news press release on it. Yeah, hell yeah, we shot y'all shit down. It's right here, cuz. We got y'all shit. Yeah, we shot the shit down. What you gonna do about it? Say some shit about the shit, bro. What you finna do about it? You know, you ain't gonna do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, oh, well, you know, a lot of these other situations, shit with this whole situation going on, you know, America wound up, you know, we're not even going to talk about the embassy situation because that's a flat out lie. You know what I'm saying? That was in Iraq, and those Iraqis was doing that because, hey, they was still trying, same shit they was doing in Benghazi, bro, running guns and shit like that and getting caught up, you know. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? With Soleimani, all right, killing old boy over there, you know what I'm saying? Iran, you know, Trump and these people that think like Trump was expecting them just to talk shit on TV or whatever, whatnot, and just go back to their little corner or whatever, whatnot, or maybe try to impose sanctions on them that ain't gonna really matter. You know what I'm saying? All right, so Ronald McDonald can't travel no more. Like, well, Ronald McDonald ain't no real motherfucker anyway, so that don't really matter about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, hey, you see them, it's like, all right, y'all want to fuck around? Fuck around with the fuck around and get laid down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they start striking bases over there. You know, well, Iraq told them to get the fuck up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Iraq was like, nah, we ain't, because, you know, America was trying to set up their puppet government in Iraq, which they had one. You know what I'm saying? And take over their military and so on and so forth. But these Iraqis are pretty much in league with Iran, which, again, this is a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? America should not have ever invaded none of these countries in the Middle East, especially Iraq. They should never kill Saddam Hussein because that causes, whether you believe it or not, Saddam Hussein kept a lot of stability in the Middle East over there, man. He was fighting off these goddamn terrorists and shit like that, killing them off. All right. And then they was actually at war with Iran. So, like, America kind of had a partner with Saddam Hussein as far as fighting up against Iran. But now once they kill Saddam Hussein, all right, and go over there and steal the country, now they have to hold. It's it's like that prank where somebody, you walk in a room and somebody holding a bowl up to the roof or some shit, and they tell you to hold the broomstick to hold the bowl up there, and your dumb ass go hold the shit, and then they walk the fuck away, and you can't remove it because as soon as you remove it, your ass gonna get covered in shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing that's going on. Once you remove yourself out the Middle East, Iraq, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is a hot fucking bed for all this shit. Like, you know what you did to these people over here, man? Once you move out, Iran is gonna move in. They already got a major influence over there, man. All right. And so from there, you know what I'm saying? Again, you got a lot of these American bases over there. All right. Like, dog, you a bunch of sitting ducks over here, man. So you have to stay over here to protect yourself over here, not just over here, but over in America as well, too, you know? But nevertheless, this is the situation that's boiling over right now, man. Like I said, you got this tit for tat going back, but now Iran sticking their chests out, man. They was like, all right, y'all want to kill our number 2 dude? We'll start bombing some of y'all shit. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna retaliate with? You know, now you seeing Donald Trump go make this here news press release and come up with all these excuses. Well, they didn't kill nobody. They just hit some empty shit. We knew about the attack. We was warned about it, whatever, whatnot. You know, and nobody really died. Ain't no big deal. We hope that we can continue to fight these terrorists. You know, we can work together with Iran. We want to see peace, not war. We want to work together with them and whatever, whatnot, you know? Like, now you sound like a bitch. Just a little while ago, you was walking around with your chest sticking out, telling me, look, bro, if you don't like it, we gonna bomb y'all ass, man. We gonna bomb first on all y'all niggas, man. But at the end all be all, now you starting to see Americans like, oh, shit, man, you know, we starting to be, how do you say, kind of left out the draw with some of our allies. They ain't so quick to jump to go run the fight. You know, like over this Iran situation, a lot of America out, the EU and NATO and them, they don't really want to get into this situation because to them, Iran ain't that bad for them. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, I mean, we can get gas and shit from them, and they ain't really did shit to us. Y'all want to steal that country, and y'all gonna get the resources. That ain't really benefiting us, man. You see what I'm saying? This is also why NATO and the EU, a lot of those countries are all still dealing with the Iranian nuclear agreement. You know, after America pulled out, they didn't follow suit with America, man. All right? But nevertheless, you know, you're starting to see these other countries like Iran and all these other countries starting to stick out their chests up against America, you know, like Venezuela and so on and so forth. They're not just having this coup take place and nothing happen, man. They're like, look, we're going to seek help from Russia, so on and so forth. Turkey, you know what I'm saying? They was threatened with sanctions, getting put out the F-35 program and even being put out of NATO if they acquired the S-400 system, you know what I'm saying, with the F-35 in their possession. And they was like, man, fuck y'all. We already bought this shit. We're going to take delivery of it, you know? And what America had to do, basically talk shit and back off, you know? Same thing going on over here in Iran. The tit for tat. Oh, if they do this, if they retaliate, if they strike, we're going to wipe them off the map. We got big guns, big missiles, and nuclear missiles. It'll be over quick. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, all right. And look what they just hit some empty fucking bases, all right, and bombed the middle of the desert. Now, America all scared. Like, nah, bro. Nah, I thought you was all hardcore. I thought you was about that life, Trump. You should have went over there and blew up all the Middle East. But something is holding your ass back. And, you know, spiritually, we understand it's all according to prophecy. You know what I'm saying? But just, you know what I'm saying, looking at the face value of old boy, let me read it again. Isaiah 14:10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All right. So look, this is pretty much what these nations are saying. It's like, yo, we no longer scared of you. We no longer, you know what I'm saying, intimidated by, you know, your power structure and so on and so forth. You know, we got guns too now. You know what I'm saying? We got backup now too, bro. If you want to go to war, we can go to war right now, bro. We ain't playing with no bullshit, you know? And then again, with the Iran and America situation, they have been fighting a war actually for the longest time. They've been fighting a proxy war in Iraq. All right. But now it looked like they about to start going at country versus country, America versus Iran. No more of these proxies, these little, you know, they're little proxies that they're fighting over there with, you know, because America be arming these, what they call moderate rebels or whatever, whatnot, these so-called terrorists. Then Iran goes over and fight these people, you know, it's the same shit, man. You know, but then America like to claim that they the damn #1 state sponsor of terrorism. And it's funny that Iran labeled the American soldiers as terrorists. So you motherfuckers here in America, all right, that support the troops and all that, you support terrorism. Because that's exactly what they do, bombing the shit out of people, man. You know what I'm saying? And rape, robbing, and murdering, and pillaging all these fucking nations, man. That's a real terrorist, man. You got people scared of the threat of your goddamn missiles and shit. That's terrorism, bro. You see what I'm saying? Destabilization. That's terrorism, man. Fucking people over with propaganda and monetarily. That's terrorism. And now Iran is the first nation to actually come out and say that, yo, we, all right, by law, we labeling y'all soldiers and all y'all military as terrorism. All right. And then basically America itself, all right, because they sponsor the military. Yo, you just #1 country of state sponsored terrorism, bro. You know what I'm saying? And hey, other countries need to follow suit, you know? And really, if they really get this shit on the books like that, like, yo, any of these countries can come over and start bombing American soldiers and bases and shit. Like, well, we're not at war with America. we just trying to take out the terrorists, like how America go over to Syria and bomb the shit out of Syria, but they not at war with Bashar al-Assad. Well, we just trying to clean up the terrorists, but you fucked over all their infrastructure, bro. You fucked up their oil fields and shit like that, man. But hey, this is the times to be coming into, man. The times of war, man. All right, wars and rumors of wars. All right. Let me grab let me grab this too. This is Joel 3:2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. All right, you know, going into the Lord drawing all these nations into World War III, man, bringing them over into the midst of the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, you know, which is over in the Middle East, man. This is where it's going to take place at, man. And now you're seeing all these different nations being brought, you know, standing to their feet and equipping their military and everything like that, getting ready for war with, you know, a major war and major conflict, man. You know, last night, dealing with all these different things, you know, with the bombing and everything like that, you know, they talk about all these American bases all over there, American assets and allies or whatever, whatnot, you know. If, you know, Iran can't reach America, they can just start bombing all their allies over there, man. Plus, Iran has a lot of allies over there themselves. And so if, you know, Iran start bombing some of America's bases and their allies over there, like Saudi Arabia and shit, all right, and then these other, you know, American assets wind up trying to get back with Iran, yo, Iran's got all these goddamn religious Muslims over there that can uprise also here in America, all right? But not only that, they're also their allies in these other Ishmaelite nations, more or less to say, you know. But nevertheless, hey, as you see, they all being drawn out there. All right, let me grab. Let me. Yeah, I mentioned this. Let me grab this. Second Esdras. What is it? 15 and 30 or 16 and 30? Yeah, 15 and 30. All right. This is Second Esdras 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. All right, and what do they call that area over there? The Middle East. All right, which is not really the fucking Middle East. You know what I'm saying? First of all, what they classify as the Middle East, that's fucking Africa. That's the top of Africa. You know what I'm saying? And really, Israel is like the center of the earth. You see what I'm saying? You go east and west from there. All right, but it says Second Esdras 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision from the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, all right, which are talking about these Ishmaelites, all right, which we will call these Arabs, basically, you know what I'm saying, shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all which hear them may fear and tremble. All right, so from the propaganda here, you would just think these is all run over nations or whatever, whatnot. But you know, they don't really have militaries comparable to America or whatever, whatnot. Really, they military, a lot of their military equipment go back to like shit, like the late 80s and shit like that, because they buy like old planes and shit from you know, the UK, the Royal Air Force out there, and America. Not really, well, some of them get American planes or Russian planes like the MiG-32, not the MiG-32, the Su-32. All right, or they get MiG fighters as well too, that's an old ass plane. The Su-32 and shit like that, but they don't like the Su-57 now. You know what I'm saying? They got way better planes than that, you know, or the F-16. You know what I'm saying? Like, they on the F-35 right now. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, they buy these older, you know, weapons and things like that over there. But nevertheless, they still got a big militaries over there, all right? And not only that, they got the home field advantage. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, they know how, like, you go back and listen about how Vietnam and how it was so hard to find a damn enemy out there that the soldiers was going crazy because they couldn't find none of these people. You know what I'm saying? But every day they losing soldiers left and right, but could never find none of the enemies. All right, this is the same shit that they got going on over there. These people know how to goddamn hide in them rocks and them caves and shit and pick your ass off all damn day. You see what I'm saying? And it's not like they in a bunch of buildings in a urban city or something like that. No, they in a fucking desert and a bunch of caves and shit, bro. It's gonna be kind of hard to find some of these people who know the whole terrain in the area way better than you do. You know. Verse 30, it says, and the Carmanians dealing with the Iranians. All right, so we dealing with verse 29 is dealing with these Arabs or the Ishmaelites. Verse 30 says, also the Carmanians raging in wrath. Let me go back up and read it all the way through. Verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all which may hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, the Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boar of the woods, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So hey, Iran is really they gonna step up. You know, they gonna goddamn reach out and touch America, bro. But right now ain't the time. You know what I'm saying? Now you might have a little small thing like, hey, they bombed a base. You know what I'm saying? They might have shot down a plane, a military plane. We ain't talking about that. We talking about, yo, they finna come over here with that you know, with that action. You know, but nevertheless, this ain't necessarily the time. But it's also this is the time for the build up and these things start to happen. Like you see, the Iranian, or here it says Carmanians. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boar of the woods. All right, going, you know, hand in hand with these Arabians, right? You're starting to see them being joined together, which again, a lot of these nations were separate over there. You know, they wasn't really with all that, but then all of a sudden, you know, you're doing certain things and bombing the shit out of these damn people. You know, they banding together, you know what I'm saying, because of they got a common enemy. All right, like I said, but Iran was kind of divided with certain, you know, just like here in America, you know, you got the Democrats, the Republicans, the Trump supporters, the non-Trump supporters, Jacob and Esau. So America's kind of divided, but guess what? Just like after 9/11, we had all the same shit kind of going on. But right after 9/11, everybody, oh, we're all Americans. That was like the first time that, you know, Jake was somewhat on the same playing field as Esau over here, man. Oh, we're all Americans. What's going on, my brother? You know, that was that situation. But right now you have the same thing going on with a lot of these Arab countries and also with these Iranians, man. All right. Verse 31, and the dragons, then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right, so look, they're gonna go back to the how they say remembering their nature, right? Dealing with the Arabs, the Ishmaelites. They said, what about Ishmael? Ishmael was a wild man. All right, you know, basically, hey, these motherfuckers is crazy out there, man. For real, man. And they finna get back with the business, man. They finna get back with putting in that work, man. All right, because hey, go back into the scriptures and things like that. A lot of these wars took place over in a lot of these same damn lands where it's going on right now, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people know about these terrains or whatever, whatnot. But hey, they're about to be joined all together. They're gonna come together in a conglomeration with one another. All right, to stand up against America. And this is what you're starting to see with these things like America poking at all these different nations, having these uprisings in these nations, overturning these governments in these nations, now going up into Iran. You unifying these people to come up against you at the end all be all right? Verse 32, then these shall be troubled, bled, and kept silence through their power and shall flee. All right, hey, that's what you're starting to see. They telling America to get out of Iraq, and now America's starting to pack up and take their shit and reposition. All right. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and their host shall be in fear and dread and strife among their kings. All right. So look, hey, man, you know, they talk about they got these sleeper cells over here and a lot of the Muslims over here in America, whatever, whatnot, that's sympathetic to Iran, whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, they could, it's easy for them to pull off something over here like that, man. You know, and right now you have a lot of these people that's on these little YouTube pages that talk about these type of things like this, you know, war and everything like that, you know, what's coming and all these different things. You know, they talk about one of the biggest fears with Iran is, oh, if they got a pocket nuke or a dirty bomb, you know, they just smuggle a bomb inside of New York or something like that, and let that bitch off, you know what I'm saying? It could kill a lot of people, you know? Hey, man, who's not to say that might happen? But I doubt that that's going to happen, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that, you know, just looking at the scriptures, once they drop one nuke over here, they're going to drop them all over here. It's not going to just be like, oh, well, they come over here with a suitcase bomb and let a nuke off over here, then America go back over there with just one nuke. Nah, man, once they get shot off, they're going to, hey, because that's the thing about nuclear weapons. If you're going to shoot one, you got to shoot them all off, you know what I'm saying? Because you might not have that second strike, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know, you're starting to see these things all take place, man. All right, all these things are being lined up, man. You know, so let me see if there was anything else I want to grab. I think it stick out real quick. That was pretty much it. But nevertheless, you know, I wanted to just jump in on this, you know what I'm saying, as far as talking about this Iranian situation just a little bit, you know, whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, just to keep you all updated on these types of things or whatever, whatnot. And like the scriptures say, hey, don't be troubled. All these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet, you know. But nevertheless, you know, just give you a little backdrop and a little history lesson on these things and these people or whatever, whatnot, so you can be able to see through the smoke screens or whatever's going on, man. All right. Like the scripture also say, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our time, man. Basically going into these here scriptures, you know, and being able to understand these here prophecies and putting them together, man. All right. You shouldn't be fearing thermonuclear destruction today or tomorrow, or World War III today or tomorrow to get all hot and everything like that. Because why? The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, ain't been forced out here on the people yet, man. All right, that has to take place first, man. All right, the persecution has to start taking place, man. All right, so again, it's important to measure the times diligently, all right, according to these here prophecies, all right, and then filtering the things in the news through these here prophecies, man. So you can be able to line them all up and understand how these things are going to be coming down, man. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for your Aki and pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.